What up? What up? What up? Yo, 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 yo. Let me lower this a little bit. Oops. Because we're professional here. I thought I was set up, but I didn't get a camera view. There we go. Cool. Let's set some mood lighting here. Alexa, turn on office light.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. What's up, people? What's up? I got one person in here. Let me fix some things. We got time. Drop your questions. What you guys think, etc., etc., etc. All right, cool. All right, so obviously we've got an hour and 28 minutes until the stream. It says there's two people here. Delvon, can you hear me? Am I coming through? Yes, no, maybe so. Sweet. Awesome. So yeah, Google I/O is today. I'm excited. We know we're getting a tablet. We know we're getting a 7A, and we're getting Google's first foldable. Interesting. I also kind of wish, like, I'm kind of hoping that they announce um, Pixel Buds 2A. I know they probably want do that, but that would be awesome if we got a new Buds A, like a second gen Buds A. That would be really cool. Um, so yeah. Awesome. So yeah, so I'm going to talk a little bit about kind of what my expectations are today with this event, what I'm expecting, what I'm thinking, um, what I'm wanting to see out of this event. And you guys can drop your comments, questions, or whatever. I think, yeah, they've just got a clock ticking, so we don't have any music. Um, we don't have any music, so um, yeah, so let's talk a little bit. I guess 7A is probably the device that I'm most excited about, just because I felt like the only reason I didn't have a 6A last year was wireless charging, and I know that sounds petty, but for me, like I don't have anything that plugs in. Like at my desk, by my bed, in my living room, in my kitchen, I have wireless chargers. I just lay stuff on wireless chargers, and that's how I charge everything. Like my desk, I have a pad here that literally has a wireless charger. I just lay it down, and I like that because to me, I don't have to fumble with cables or anything. I just lay stuff on there and leave it there all day, and I can see when I get a notification or whatever. So to me, I feel like 7A having wireless charging is kind of really the missing piece of the puzzle there. Everything else was really really good. I just felt like that was really what they were missing, and so upgraded cameras. That's always a good thing, I guess. I mean, it won MKBHD's blind camera test last year, so um, I didn't feel like it was really needing that, but we'll take it. I kind of hope they don't change the size. I've seen some pictures, rumored pictures of the 7A in people's hands, and it looks bigger. I like the smaller size. I like smaller phones in general. Like that's why I have my 13 Pro, and I've held on to that phone. I love that 6.1 inch size. That's my favorite. I've come to realize that's my favorite size phone is that 6.1 inch size device. So I hope Google sticks with that on the 7A. Um, just my personal opinion. Um, I have Coral Buds Pro earbuds. I kind of would like the Coral phone to match, but I know I'm going to put a case on it and all that stuff. So probably getting the white if I get one to test out. But that's probably going to be my budget phone this year to test out. Last year I did the S22, just the regular small S22. I just bought that outright. So I'll probably get the 7A this year to try it out and see how it goes. 6.4 was yeah, 6.4 is a good size. It's not quite too large. But when you start getting 6.7, 6.8, and then like the Pro Max is, iPhones are already have that kind of odd, weird square shape. So you start putting cases and stuff, they just like get bulky. And I have big hands. Like this is the S23 Ultra in my hand. I mean, I can palm this pretty good. I can palm my fold with my hand, it open in my hand. So, but I don't know, something about like this small form factor, like it's just a lot easier to hold. You cradle it real well. Like I don't have a case on this. I've got a skin on here, and it really is nice not to have to put a bulky case on there. I know they make real thin cases nowadays, but something about just being able to hold a phone without the case and feel very secure in your hand. One-handed texting, holding it to your ear, that sort of thing. It's just really nice to have that flexibility. So that's my preference. I know that's not everyone's preference. A lot of people don't like smaller screens and different things like that. So for me, it's like one of those deals where it's like it's a preference thing. It's nothing against a larger screen. I definitely really enjoy the Ultra, but like sticking it in a pocket or things like that, it does. It's a little bigger and that sort of thing. So kind of transitioning with size there. One of the things that Google has leaked leaked out about the Fold is the fact that it is the thinnest foldable coming out. So obviously it's going to be thinner than the Fold 4, and I'm assuming thinner than any of the other foldables that are out there. It's a pretty big claim, considering like Xiaomi and Oppo have pretty thin folding phones. I think Xiaomi's, aren't they the ones that are like really thin? I could almost looks like just a normal phone. It's so thin. So that's interesting that they said thinnest. They didn't say smallest. They didn't say most compact. They said thinnest. Like that's their claim. So it'd be interesting to see. And to me, form factor of it when it's closed, that's kind of small. Like what was iPhone Mini? It was like that size, right? Or maybe it was a little smaller. Maybe it was 5.4. But I wanted an iPhone Mini for the longest time until I held one, and I was like, dude, this is tiny. It felt like an old school iPod or something. It was really small. So I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. I got to see it. And then, but I do like the more rectangular form factor when you open it up. It's more closer to that 16.9-inch ratio, which is really good for content consumption. Um, I can say this: I've used a Chrome OS device now for over a year, and I've really enjoyed it. Um, and I feel like that's going to be the bread and butter here of that device. And I know people always say that about Google devices, that they'll give them a pass on, hardware. They'll give them a pass on not having like bleeding edge tech. But to me, like seriously, like in this scenario, somebody that has had multiple tablets and has had multiple foldables, and now I've used multiple OSs. Um, I really enjoy the Chrome OS experience. I know that's weird because a lot of people hate on like Chromebooks and stuff like that. But if you hadn't used one like recently, um, it's really good. I'm kind of optimistic about the Fold being a really good performing device, and I'm a little disappointed they didn't put the new Tensor chip in it. That would have been really great, but maybe they're just not there. Maybe they're maybe the cost savings of putting the old tensor versus the new tensor. And I know everybody's probably going, but dude, they're charging $1,800 for this thing. Well, that's what they're saying. They may come out today and say it's $1,500. We don't know what they're going to say, but even still, maybe Tensor G3 would have cost them to ramp up production and put that out this early. May have cost them like who knows how many millions or billions of dollars, whatever it costs to put that chipset out, and it pushed the price over where they needed to be. So I think I think the G2 is fine. Um, on my 7 Pro, it was fine. I didn't have a problem with my 6 Pro, and it had a Gen 1 in it. No other people did, but I bought mine late. So I bought mine when it was uh working. But so I think that's really good for Google to have worked out. I think stuff with Chrome OS and bringing that over to the Android world, and hopefully Google's will be even cleaner and work even better than Samsung's. So we'll just have to see. It's just one of those things where we just have to really just kind of wait and see, right? But I'm optimistic about it because, like I said, my Chrome OS device, I get usually I have not had any bugs with that. So let me put that out there first. My Chrome OS device, I've not had any bugs with it at all. I've not had any glitches or anything. The only issue that I've had, and I think this is more of the internal workings of the computer, the chipset, the RAM, that sort of thing, graphics, etc., is it doesn't like for me to use apps. And I know that's most of you are going, well, what's the point? Well, uh, I say it doesn't like for me to use apps. It doesn't like certain apps. There's some apps that are just so oriented for mobile that I get in and I use them and they stutter, or they hang up, or they crash. And I just use it like a normal computer minus a few things. Like Spotify works great on it. I use it all the time. It's my second screen over here, so I'll have Spotify playing on that. It's touch screen, so it's really really nice. I've got it, vertical, so it's almost like a huge, massive, you know, 15, 16-inch tablet or whatever. Scott, I think this is bigger than that. I think it's like a 22-inch. So it's like a massive tablet over here. So I could touch screen, I can type on it, I can Zoom call on it, I can do all these things and still use my main monitor here in front of me. So it's really, really nice. So, but like Spotify works well. It's good to have Instagram on it because that doesn't work well on a computer. And it's a really nice device. You just kind of have to learn. But the thing is, every update that rolls out gives me so much more functionality and so much more stuff that I can use, that it's been a really really like a pleasure to use. And the only thing that's really held it back is, like I said, is the chipset, the RAM, and graphics card. It sure can have other things, but for the most part, it's been a really good experience. I've not had the computer like crash, lag out. I've done a lot of work with it. It's just been nice. So I'm optimistic because of that Google brings that over to um, Android. What are we on? 13L, 12L, 13L, 13L. The 14L will come out for the Pixel Fold first, and just kind of like blow us out of the water with how nice it is. Um, so I'm very optimistic. The only thing that's really holding me back is I'm not crazy about size. So I'll just have to. I'm not going to buy one today. I'm going to have to go see one. I need to touch it, hold it, see, like, put it next to my Fold and be like, is this what I really like? Because it's a lot of money for somebody like me that's not Team Pixel, or somebody like Dalvon Digital, who, if you haven't subscribed to his channel, go check him out. He is the Pixel guy. Why he's not on Team Pixel? Shame on whoever's in control of that. Shame on you for not having Dalvon Digital, because he is the number one. He is the number one Pixel guy. I ran a YouTube or a Twitter poll, and he beat out MKBHD and Flossie Carter. I need to do one with Mr. Who's the Boss, Delvon, and see if you win. But yeah, supporting my guy today, because this is Team Pixel right here. This is President Pixel, Delvon Digital. My vote, Delvon 2024 Team Pixel. But yeah, I'm optimistic. I want to see it. So finally, what's at the top of my list um, is of course the tablet. And I know I've heard a lot of arguments. If you guys haven't subscribed to our podcast, we do the TNT podcast. We go live every Sunday night right now. Lots of great tech names in there. We have special guests that you've all heard of. Um, and I'm drinking some coffee by our sponsor, Bobby the Coffee Guy. It's really delicious coffee. But yeah, so I'm really, really, really excited about this tablet. And here's why. One, I am a tablet person. I enjoy tablets. Why I like foldables because it's like having a phone and a tablet together, right? Um, but I also last year started converting my entire house over to a smart home and having lots of smart speakers and things like that. And so I started with Amazon Echo products, which some of them are really good, and then some of them I gave away because I didn't enjoy them. And most of the things that I didn't like from Amazon was the anything that had a screen on it. So none of their products really impressed me. Not, Echo 5 show, Echo 10 show. Uh, None of that stuff really impressed me. Their speakers, I think, are better than the Google ones that I have. And so long story short, if you didn't know, I picked up um, two of the small Nest Minis for the house because they were like buy one get one free during Black Friday or something. So I grabbed those. Um, and a Chromecast because Fire TV just wasn't doing it for me. So I kind of started adding some Google Home stuff to the house, and just the integration of having one of those with a Chromecast and then having a Chrome OS device, and just how all that worked together, and then having Google on multiple devices, Samsung devices in the house. I was just really, really impressed with how seamlessly it worked together, how easily it worked together, how you can tell it whatever you need to tell it. You can ask it just about anything. It just works so well, especially if you're someone like me that uses a lot of Google apps. So here's what I like about the tablet. So like right now I'm sitting at my desk, and I like having two screens, but it would be really nice if I had a tablet over here as a third screen, a small, a smaller screen that I could have something on there, a YouTube video going that I don't want to clutter up these two screens or whatever, or Spotify on that one, so that now I've got this other monitor over here to use for whatever else I need to use it for. It's nice to have it as a dock. It's nice to have it around the house. It's nice to have it as like a smart speaker with the screen on it. Typically in the mornings, I like to drink my coffee and sitting in the kitchen. Want to hear a quick news update, get the quick 411 on what's happening around the world, and it'd be nice to have that video playing while I'm sitting there scrolling through Twitter or whatever I'm doing in the morning to kind of wake up or whatever. It'd also be nice though to be able to grab that screen and take it with me. So for me, somebody like me, that's a useful tool. Um, I think it's also useful for other people that have a similar use case scenario for that, like kids or adults or whatever. So it works as like a smart speaker with a screen on it that you can have those videos and stuff playing. But what if you're not in that room? What if you're going on a trip or, going to the grocery store or whatever? Well, nowadays we know that most people that have kids are putting a device in their hand. And then you think about like the integration of that. Like if you're handing your kid your tablet, right, and you go into the grocery store and they're sitting in the buggy or whatever you're doing, um, you've got these people that are doing that, right? But it's like, what if the all of the Google stuff works together? Like your home updates come in or whatever. Yeah. And most people got, yeah, but my kid's watching Baby Shark and they're not going to pay attention to, they're not paying attention to if I get a notification. Well, no, not necessarily, but you can hear it, see it, You know it's happening. A lot of people say, well, my phone does that. Well, true. But most of us don't walk around like this glued to our phone. It's in our pocket, it's in a purse or whatever. So I don't know. I'm just throwing out scenarios out there of things that you could use it for. I think the biggest thing for me is just the fact that, um, again, going back to how well Chrome OS has worked for me, to start seeing Google implement some of that into a tablet form, and also a foldable. So it's like they've pushed real hard into this area. And Google's the type of company that, like, when they push innovation and they push into those kind of sectors, they don't just like say, well, here's 3 or 4 people, y'all work on this. They put it all in, which is probably why we didn't see a big change between Pixel 6 and 6 Pro and Pixel 7 7 Pro. We saw some minor hardware issues, but pretty much those were almost the same phones, right? Um, but now we're getting foldables, and hopefully that software is going to run rampant across the board, and we're going to see all kinds of great stuff come out of that. So I'm really optimistic about this tablet. I don't think it's a iPad Pro killer. I don't think it's a Samsung Tab S8 Plus, S8 Ultra killer, even lower model S8. It's just I don't think it falls into that category. I think Google is giving us kind of what we've been asking for, which is a little bit of innovation. We're seeing, for the first ever time, Samsung actually has some competition in the US with foldables. That's important. I think that's very important. We're also seeing the first of kind of like the big 3 tech companies push into that space outside of Samsung. So that's exciting. It's exciting to see, both sides are going to really kind of benefit off of it, because both of them are running Android, and both of them are going to get the perks of 2 companies now experimenting and coming out with features and helping Android L, however it run better, new stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really exciting. And then it's also exciting that we do have another Android tablet from one of the big 3s, and we have it in a different form factor than we've ever seen from anyone else. I mean, let's talk about the king of tablets right now, and let's talk about Apple. Now, if Apple takes their failing, HomePods and combines it as a dock for an iPad, it changes the form factor a little bit, changes how you look at it, changes how you interact with it. It changes kind of the game, right? So you start getting iPad OS integration with the home speaker and things like that. So I don't know. I just hope that it kind of has some influence over the market a little bit, to kind of push more innovation. And we've been crying, everything's boring, everything's boring. Well, we're getting 2 brand new products from one of the biggest companies, one of the biggest 3 companies that's out there. So it's very, very exciting for me, I think, to finally see something different. We're seeing a completely different take on tablets, not just from Android, but in general. And then now we're seeing the first ever foldable from one of the biggest 3 tech companies that are out there. That so to me, and the second company in the US to offer a foldable. So that's very, very exciting in my opinion. And I know people, I can hear you now. I hear them now. The keyboard warriors are like, because everyone's going, well, Microsoft had a foldable. Not in the sense that most people consider foldables. Y'all can hate me for that. I'm sorry. I like the Surface Duo. I thought it was a cool concept. I thought it was a cool idea. But it just wasn't. It's Microsoft, man. They just build computers and just leave everything else alone. No, I would love to see Surface Duo do well. I'd love to see that come out. I'd love to see that become a true folding device. Um, yeah, I mean, it is, and it's not portable. It doesn't give you the same functionality. It is 2 separate screens, because I know a lot of people try to say that, you know, you've got everyone talks about, Samsung everyone talks about them. There's like the crease, but dude, what's worse than a crease is a hinge that you can see. So yeah, I really would like to see, Microsoft push more into that space, but I just don't think they're going to. I think that's a lot of people say that Google is for the tech people. That's really for tech people. The Surface was, but it's cool. I would love to have one. I'd love to have a Surface Duo too if I could find one that was not outrageously overpriced. Um, so that's just me. That's just my take on it. It's just my take on it. So, but yeah, those three devices that are coming out, I'm very very excited. Top of my list. What am I getting? Top of my list. What I want is the tablet. Just because I've wanted a home, some kind of like home speaker thing with a screen on it that was really good. And like I said, I tried two from Amazon and they weren't good at all. Just too laggy. Uh, I, the screen was it was just not good quality. It's just to me, it wasn't good. Wasn't good. Because I want to do stuff on mine. Like I want to be able to do, phone calls and video calls and you know I want to be able to have it for that. I want to be able to use it for those types of things. And I also want to be a home speaker, but I want to be able to watch YouTube on it in the mornings and get some news broadcast. I want to be able to I want to be that guy. The guy why I'm cooking or why I'm doing the dishes or why I'm cleaning up the kitchen or whatever I'm doing, wherever it's at. I want to be able to have that tablet there playing something in the background. Um, Am I going to watch a Netflix show on it? Probably not. But I mean, it is capable of doing that. I could pick it up and go fly on an airplane and watch stuff on it. That's what's great about it. And you come home and you set it back down, and it's your home speaker again. I don't know. To me, I like the idea of it. It's a cool concept. I'd like to have one for my kitchen and another one for my desk. If I could have just one and take it from the kitchen to my desk and just have two docks, that'd be even better. Um, Especially if the docs are live without the tablet. Maybe I'm asking for too much. If Delvon is still in here, Delvon, am I asking for too much? Is that too much? So yeah, I'm excited to see that. I'm excited that Pixel 7a is getting wireless charging. That's probably going to be my budget phone of the year device. So I'm going to pick that up. Um, it's still falling under the $500 mark. So to me, that's to me that's budget. I know everyone's like $500. That's not budget, but in 2023, that's budget. Especially when most of your I look at it like this. So like most of your flagship devices, pro model iPhones, uh, S23 Ultra, which is the highest flagship. So I put that outside of the Plus or the regular S23. But even still, regular S23 is $800 at launch, full retail. Just a regular iPhone Pro is 1,000. Um, even a base model foldable from Samsung is 1,000. Um, on the Pixel side, the 6 Pro, which is a pro level, and even the 7, they're right there at 600 and 1,000. So when you're talking about a phone that's $500 or less, to me that's a budget phone. A lot of people say a budget phone is needs to be you know $300, 299 or less. They say that's a budget phone, and to me that's like, okay, yeah, but what are you getting for that? So I want a phone that I feel like I could actually use. Um, I don't know, like Samsung's A lineup, I guess, kind of compares to the Pixel 7A to the A lineup, but to me, it's just kind of like, um, I don't know. I don't know. I've used that, and the processor is just terrible. It's just really terrible. I've used two A phones. I've used the last two generations, and I didn't even do a video on them. I didn't even have them for 24 hours because I was like, it's glitching. Like by the time I try to set it up like a normal phone, it's just like I'm giving it too much to do. Um, And that to me, that's not a usable phone. That's for somebody that wants to make like phone calls and send text messages and don't do anything else with their phone. I don't know who those people are in this world, but apparently that they're out there. Um, and outside of that, being someone that's in the US, I don't really know of any other. I mean, I guess you got an iPhone SE, but again, another phone that like I've tried to use it, and it's just like one, it's too small. I don't like the size of it. Um, and that's just the overall shape and size of it, too small. And then on top of that, you shrink the screen even more because you're putting a top and a bottom bezel because you put a fingerprint scanner in. Now I'm all for fingerprint scanners. I love physical fingerprint scanners for sure. But dude, like, how big is that screen? Like 3 inches? Size matters. But no, seriously, like that phone again is like, I hear people all the time saying that's a great phone for like your mom or your grandma. And I'm like, no, because I know what about you, but my mom and dad are always looking for their glasses. And the last thing they want is this itty bitty tiny screen. Like my mom for Mother's Day wants a new phone. So we're going to go new phone shopping, which she's going to get an iPhone because that's what she's always had. And that's what she's comfortable using. And she is not in a position where she wants to learn something new. My dad, on the other hand, wanted the biggest phone that he could find. And I gave him my S22 Ultra, and he loves it. I mean, absolutely loves his S22 Ultra. I don't think he'll ever go back to an iPhone. I don't think he'll ever not have an Ultra. So if they ever get rid of that, he won't have. He wanted a Fold, and I may give him one. I may give him when he's ready for an upgrade. I may give him a Pixel or a Z Fold. I may give him one of those. That was kind of my gift. I'm the tech guy of the family, so I give people tech gifts. So dad got a phone for Christmas. Mom's going to get a phone for Mother's Day. That's just how it goes. Are they still ticking over here? That's all they're doing. Just a clock. That's all they have over there is this screen that's just ticking. But yeah, um, I would be surprised if my mom said, I think I want a foldable. I could see her getting a flip. She saw mine last year and she really liked it. She played with it for like 2 seconds. So it'd be interesting to see if my mom goes, I think I want a flip. And she gets and I would not discourage my mother from getting a flip 4. I know the flip 5's coming out. But I would not discourage her away from that if she wants it, because I would love to see her have a different device and experience that. Um, so she's got a 11 or 12 Pro right now, the regular, the small size. So, but she tells me all the time I can't see stuff on my screen, and that's a 6-inch screen. So you talk about iPhone SE going even smaller than that? No, nobody wants that phone. That's for like a kid. That phone's like for like kids. Like you're gonna give if you're one of those parents that like gives your 9-year-old a phone, you give them an SE. Put a cool case on it. Call it a day. It's a phone you can throw in the garbage. They lose it, they break it, whatever, just replace it. It's a throwaway phone. But the 7A, the 6A, those phones have evolved into like a real usable, budget friendly phone for people that don't want to spend $1,000, people that don't want to be on a carrier plan, people that are budget minded. And I think putting the wireless charging in there is a big thing. I really do. I know a lot of people go, it's not that big of a deal, but to me, it's a big deal especially in this world where it's like every day you turn around and it's like there's all kinds of different chargers and what works and what doesn't work. And now Apple's getting, I know I keep talking about Apple a lot, but it's just like they're the competition. We got to talk about it, right? But it's like they're switching over to USB-C and they might not use the same USB-C as everybody else. So you got to get an Android USB-C or an Apple USB-C now. It's just like so confusing where if it's wireless charging, it's wireless. If it's Qi wireless charging, it's Qi wireless charging. You just throw it on there and it charges. Sure, it charges different speeds, but I'd rather have that option than have to hunt for something to plug it in. And even like this weekend when I went on a trip, I took my wireless charger and I carry 3 devices with me this weekend. I had my 2 personal phones. I've got an iPhone and Ultra, and then my work phone, which is my Fold 4. So, but all of them wirelessly charge. So it's just like I put one on the charge, it charged up, put the other on the charge, charged up, left one in the hotel when I went, did what I did, came back and it was charged. So it was just way easier to carry one charger and one cord to plug in versus two or three cords and two or three blocks and all that kind of stuff. It's just no, man, I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for that. So yeah, wireless charging, big thing for me. Uh, and I'm just hoping that phone's just so good. Um, I don't use Zoom, so I don't use any kind of Zoom on a camera. I've used it a little bit more since I've got the Ultra because it's actually really good Zoom. But even still, Pixel has such good digital Zoom that it's like they almost don't need it. Almost. I mean, yeah, it's better quality, but like you're not blowing these pictures up, printing them out. You're putting them on social media. You're just throwing it up there. It's fine. You're not taking moonshots unless you have an Ultra. Then you just take moonshots because you got an Ultra. So nobody uses it. Look, I don't know anybody that's went out there and said, "Oh, I've got to have Zoom on the phone, and it's got to be the best Zoom," and they strictly shop phone off of Zoom, and they're just zooming in on everything and taking a bunch of pictures. I don't know anybody like that. Not a single solitary soul. So it's like being that Google is camera king, and if you don't agree, then sorry. I love you guys either way. And look, I'm a Samsung dude. Like I don't have a Pixel right now at all, but I can just tell you, Pixel is camera king. Period. Um, I used a Pixel 6 Pro to go shoot a event that I was hired to shoot, and I didn't want to take my camera. And for what they were paying me, they didn't pay me enough to bring a camera. I literally took some of my mobile photography stuff. I've got a gimbal and all that kind of stuff. So I took some of that stuff. But the Pixel 6 Pro that I shot it with was so good. And I mean, yeah, I made sure that I was steady and holding the two hands and setting the shot up, doing things right. But dude, the Pixel 6 Pro was so good at shooting photos and videos. When I went into after the event, I threw them into post and I edited those pictures in Lightroom, shot them in RAW, put them in Lightroom. The video I edited in Final Cut, shot everything in 4K 60. Dude, it was great. And the people were ecstatic. And to this day, like I look back at those pictures and I go, I can't believe I shot that with a phone. Like I can't believe those pictures were with a phone. And then even the video, like I can tell it's a phone. I can tell it's a phone versus my camera. The videos, that's a whole different story. But even still, like the end result, that video was so good that I was like, man, it's really close. And then the 7 Pro came out and it was about the same quality. So I'm really hoping that the 8 Pro, which I don't think the 8 Pro is going to get a hardware bump. So I don't really think that I think that probably Tensor Gen 3 will help, but I don't think it's gonna change the game. Like I don't think not on photography, not for Google. Um, I think this foldable is going to take their market. Not like kill. It's not going to kill Pixel 6 or Pixel 8 Pro. It's not going to kill them. But it's going to be what everyone talks about from Google this year. I think there'll be great phones. I think there'll be faster phones. I think there'll be, um, I still think they're probably going to be good for if you want to upgrade. Um, but this folding phone is, I think this folding phone is going to be what you talk about from Google all year long, the rest of the year, and they will definitely overshadow the 8 and the 8 Pro. And they're not going to be. You had I think 7 and 7 Pro had enough of a hardware difference and a look change, and they become a little bit more refined that everyone went out and got them. And plus, they were. It's like Tensor Gen 1 versus Tensor Gen 2 was a lot more fluid, a lot more seamless, a lot more flawless. You had less hiccups, and that was like a perfect launch for Google. It's like that was it. That was the launch that they needed. They needed a phone that came out with no hiccups and no issues and no problems, and they got it. They did it. Home run. you can only hit so many home runs, right? Before striking out. No, I'm just kidding. Um, but no, I think that this 7A is an important phone for them. And everyone talks about they're killing it off. I don't know where that's coming from, but I hope that threat or that rumor uh kind of scares people enough that they go, "Oh man, I don't want to kill that off. I'm going to go buy one." I'm buying one. I know for sure I'm probably going to pick one of those up. I'm not going to keep it, but I'm going to rock it. And it, like I said, it's the budget phone I want to get. I last year my budget phone was the S22, just the regular one, and I thought that was probably, and it was because it was a 799 phone, which is expensive, but they had such good deals on it all year long. They had a last year Samsung's trade-ins were incredible. Carrier deals were amazing. So you weren't paying $800 for that phone. You just weren't. There was just there was just you just had to be insane just to go click. I'm paying $800. I'm not trading anything in. I'm not getting it on a carrier plan. I'm not taking advantage of Google Fi. I'm not taking advantage of Amazon. I'm just blind buying $800. I don't know anybody that did that. So for me, it's just like I think that phone last year because you had triple camera setup, you had flagship specs, you had decent battery updates, helped the battery, um, et cetera, et cetera. Really, the battery was the only issue. Outside of that, everything was fantastic about that device. Shape was good, felt premium. Um, I just felt like that it was. I just felt like that it was. It was a great phone. It was a great device, and I felt like Pixel 6a was a better price point. I didn't feel like you got. I didn't feel like there was a better value with 6a over the S22. This year, opposite story. The S23, the regular one, even though it's got the 8 Gen 2 chip, which I think is the best chip in a phone right now, and I don't think anybody's going to beat it this year. I just don't. Um, Even with that chipset, the price point is way different this year. You don't have as many deals. The trade in's not as good, and that's all you have. That's all you have, which is probably helping the battery some, but that's all you have. You're not you don't have a huge shift in uh, in anything else outside of that. Okay, no camera bump or whatever, but still, I mean, it's just like the hardware is all the same. Everything's the same except for that chip, which helps. It does. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm not saying that's it's just a chip. But what I am saying is this is like you you're not to me there's not you got more value last year. Samsung kind of took that away this year. And so yeah, I just think that I just think that there is I think there's more value with the 7A this year. Just my 2 cents. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to listen to it. But that's just where I'm at. The wireless charging, that changes the game. Better cameras, that changes the game. Price is a little higher, but worth it. $50 more, worth it. And it's still less than 500 bucks. Totally worth it. So yep, that's where I'm at on it. That's where I'm at on it. I just feel like that yeah, I'm probably going to pick that phone up. So if you have questions about it, if you want to see anything, I'll do a full 1 month, 30 days. I'll hang on to it. I'll do a camera. I'll go take it out and use it on a trip or something and spend a day in the life, see how it is, or a weekend with it, taking pictures and videos and put that all together. Um, and I'll run it through the gamut. I use all phones the same. I don't go, well, this is a budget phone, so I'm going to give it a pass because the battery died. No, I want a budget phone to be as good as the flagship. I want that. I really do. Um, so I use all phones the same. I put the same amount of apps on it. I max out everything that I want on it except for brightness. I don't do super max brightness screens on anything, but I run everything the same. I run everything the same. I run it just like I run any phone that I'm using right now. So like, if I'm running a if I'm running you know, a 7A, I'm going to use it just like I use my Ultra. I'm going to go shoot pictures with it, videos, and carry it as a daily, and um, you know, do work stuff from it, the whole 9 yards. And just I use everything the same. And I think that's the way you should do it. I think that's a fair comparison. I think that's the best way to do it because you get to see what it really can and can't do. So that's it. That's just me. That's just how I'm going to rock it. You know, I'm gonna skin it. I'm gonna put a case on it. Maybe buy 2 or 3 cases. Maybe buy a few skins. Um, and shout out to Extreme Skins UK. Extreme Skins. If you hadn't bought a skin from them, they are amazing. I have skins on everything. Like I've never used a skin because I was like, it's not gonna hold up. It's gonna be hard to install. If I mess it up, I'm out. 20 bucks, whatever. Their skins are affordable. Their skins are very good. The textures are great. They're super easy to install. I don't have the steadiest of hands. I'm kind of all the caffeine, but they're super easy to install. They stick really well. I put cases on these, so like I'm a biker, as you can see, all the bikes, and I'll put like a case to mount to the handlebars or whatever. I'm pulling it on and off. Same with my Ultra. I've got like 5 different cases and just depending on what mood I'm in, I'm taking cases on and off with this, and they hold up fine. You know, I take these and they get wet and they steam and whatever. Um, I I put these in all kinds of situations and they're not peeling, they're not coming off, they stick really well, they're easy to install. They're a good price, good shipping. I'm not sponsored by them. I just really really like their stuff. Um, and so if you're thinking about a any kind of um, wanting to try a skin, wanting something different, change your lookup or whatever, Extreme Skins UK on Twitter. Check out Extreme Skins. So, all right, so we've got about 40 minutes. I kind of came on a little early. Let me see what you're saying. What you guys are saying over here. Yep, I have a Fold 4 as well. Yeah. Yeah, I know it's not a flagship, doesn't work like a flagship, but to me, I just felt like I couldn't set the phone up the way I like to. It was it I felt like it forced me to compromise a little too much. That was the only issue that I had. Um, yeah, I think this Google Fold, the more I see it, I think that its hardware is going to be okay. I know a lot. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. We got 40 minutes. We got 40 minutes worth of bezel talk. So here's my take on the bezel. All right. Here is my take on the bezels. First off, they don't look that bad. Like all these people freaking out. I mean, just absolutely going like they lost their minds. I'm just gonna say it. They lost their shit over these bezels. First of all, they don't look that bad. Like I have a monitor over here. This one that I've been talking about. It has bezels. They don't bother me. It looks good. They're symmetrical. They give me a focal point. Okay, big deal. Okay, it's not like an inch worth of bezel. It's not a half inch worth of bezel. It's like millimeters worth of a bezel. It's a little bit. Stuff has bezels, folks. Stuff has bezels. If you start looking everything like this really nice 4K 32-inch screen that I've got in front of me, it's got little tiny bezels around it. Oh, by the way, they're not symmetrical. By the way, I am an OCD person. It doesn't bother me. It probably bothered me like when I first turned on. It's kind of like, but they're black bezels. It blends in. It helps kind of keep the focus in on the screen. That's why you have bezels. That's why when you go to the movies, they typically have strips. It's so that you focus. Focus. Nowadays, we need that more than ever because All you folks are ADD. You can't pay attention to nothing. Can't even listen to a song all the way. You're not skipping the next one. I'm talking about you. You know what I am. You're on Twitter for 5 seconds, then you flip to Instagram, then you flip to Facebook, then you go to Snapchat, then you back on Instagram, then you're back, and then you're back to YouTube. And you watch it, and if a video's longer than 3 minutes, you can't watch it because your attention span. Focus. Thank you, Google, for giving us bezels so we can focus. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, no joke aside, the bezels, they're not a big thing. I for one, as a foldable user, for all these people that aren't foldable users, because a lot of these people talking about it don't use a fold. Reason I know they don't use a fold is because they always post pictures of their phone, or they're talking about their iPhone that they use all the time, or their regular Pixel that they use all the time. Well, I have been using a foldable device, and yes, I use this phone. I've been using a foldable device. I had the Fold 3 and now I've got the Fold 4, and I carry this with me and I have it and I use this phone all day, every day. And I've been doing that now for 2 years. If you're not using a foldable device every single day, if you're like a reviewer and you use it for 14 days and then you got rid of it, you can't talk about this. If you're somebody that's using a foldable device and you've used one and you've not bought one, you've used it. You used it. Not like you got it to review it and put it on your channel, or you got it because you thought it was fun, but the form factor kind of got old to you, so you went and bought a regular phone. No. Not one of those people that keep it in a drawer. One of those people that use this device. They lived with it every single day. Okay, then we can talk about it. But the rest of you, until you get to that point where you're using it every single day and you've carried it for a while, like a year, and you use it every single day and it's your daily driver for a year, then you don't understand. But the biggest complaint that everyone has, that I have, one of your biggest fears as a foldable user, is how fragile these devices are. I mean, the Fold 4, this dude, this is not dust resistant. Not. Say it again. Not dust resistant. Okay? So that means right here on the ends, when I fold this, I can see in between this screen and this screen, or this side and this side, I can see there's a gap there. That's where the hinge moves back and forth. It goes in and out from underneath this. Okay. I can see that. I can see that moving and working. I can see the space and everything in between there. If dirt gets in there enough, like you drop this in the sand, or you drop this on the ground, right? Like not pavement, like in the grass, at the park, in the mud, in the sand. You drop this in something like that, and it gets all up in there. You do this 1,500 times, and it wedges its way up in there, and you didn't clean it out really good, and it gets under this screen. Done. Also, this phone has really thin surround the metal. Take my case off. The metal that's around this is really thin. See that? See how thin that is? Like that black little area above the screen, that's as much bezel as you got, and then the rest, then this really micro thin aluminum. So this dude drops on the ground without a case. You're carrying it without, because it feels really good with that case. I put a case on everything, but like this thing falls on the ground, like you go to pick it out of your pocket, boop, because it's kind of slippery without a case on it. Also, it's got a really strong hinge, so when you're going to open it without a case, it's very, very hard to do. And you drop this dude, and there's nothing. Basically, there's almost absolutely nothing between the screens. She got multiple screens. Just between the screens and the ground, that dude's gonna break. So I'm hoping one, the first thing, and this is for people that use foldables for everyday devices, not you people that buy them as a novelty. You ballers. We appreciate you, but come again. Uh, sorry, I was channeling my inner floss there. But no, seriously, like I hope one that those bezels will help give it some support and protection from drops. I really do. Really hope. I really hope. I'm sure there's other reasons why it's there, but I really hope that's one of the things that it helps do. Makes it a little bit denser, a little bit more prone to breaking, that sort of thing. The next thing is this inner display is fantastic. It being uninterrupted by a camera hole or punch out or a notch. Let me say it again. A notch is really, really nice. This is a nice screen. This is a very nice screen to consume content on or to work on and not have any kind of interruptions there. It's really nice. The problem with that is to use this device, like say you want to fold it in half like this and you want to set it down on a table and you want to use it for a conference call or you want to take a selfie or you want to do a live or any of that kind of stuff. It's like Van Gogh watercolors. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. So under screen cameras are terrible. None of them are good. I don't care who you say is good. Not a single solitary one of them that I've ever seen. And I've seen some that were really good, but you start looking at like other selfie cameras that aren't under a display and you go, oh no, it's not that good. It's just not what we want. I'd rather there be no camera in there at all than to have the one that's in there. Personally, I wish they would just take it out. I wish they'd take it out and I wish they would put a better camera on the front, preferably that camera that came on the S22 Ultra, that like 40 megapixel, what it was. That camera was fantastic. And people, I hate to tell you, but on the S23 Ultra, that front facing camera is not as good as that S22 front facing camera. Sorry. Giving you sports from my view. What we talking about? Well, I'm talking about Google's I/O today. It's happening in about 32 minutes. We're talking about Google stuff, and we're talking about what's supposed to be released. So I'm talking about the Google Pixel Fold that's coming out and how people don't like the bezels on it. So back to what I was saying, if those bezels, I like because the screen is uninterrupted. Yes, there's bezels on top and bottom. There's small, tiny bezels, but I'd rather have. I'm hoping we get a very good camera on that inner display that's kind of hidden with that bezel, kind of blends in. I'd rather have that than have a crappy under display. Either give us bezels and a good camera, or give us no camera and uninterrupted screen. That's it. That's the end of it. That's the end of it. That's the end of the topic. So to be honest, those bezels, hopefully they give us a little bit more protection because everyone talks about how kind of fragile a foldable phone is, and I would agree. Like I want to use this without a case. I really, really do. The problem is without a case, it's very, very hard. Just because the hinge is good on this, which is good, but it's a little hard for me to get my fingers and my hands to pull this open. Because the sides are a little slippery from being glossy. We could go back to matte sides like we had on the Fold 3, and it wasn't that hard, but it's thin. It's thin. It's hard to get your hands around. So case helps out a lot. We'll see how Pixel does it, but you're scared to drop it. You're scared to drop it. You're scared to get it dirty. You can't take it you're scared to take it to the beach. You're scared to, you're just scared to use it in multiple places. Even though it's water resistant, you're still worried about sand and dirt and dust and stuff getting under that screen. And look, I have a buddy that he's got one of these. I saw him this weekend, and he's got a screen protector over the front, and he's got a screen protector on the inside. And you should see the dirt and stuff that's got under that screen protector. If it can get under that, it can get under this screen. I know they got brushes and stuff to prevent it and this, that, and other, but dude, like, come on. Like we are we are to the point where we've got to, if this is going to be the future, if companies are going to invest in this, they've got to start listening to the consumers. They've got to start listening to concerns of people. And I think they're listening more to YouTube reviewers and the tech community and influencers, and they're just wanting to appease them so that they praise their product. I hate to tell them, but those people aren't buying anything. They're not spending their money on it. So they got to start listening to what, and I can tell you that's the first thing people say. They don't say, "Hey, do you like this? Hey, does this have a 50 megapixel camera? Hey, none of that." They go, "Man, I'd break that thing." That's what they say. And that's Mississippi talk. They say, "Man, I break that thing." Every time I post it, people go, "Yeah, but can you go to I can't go to my job site with that. I'd love to have one, but I can't go to my construction site with that." So that's the only thing I ever hear when I have a folding phone. It's the only thing I ever hear from people is that. I don't hear anything else. I don't hear people saying, "Oh, but can it shoot a movie?" And I don't hear any of that stuff. I don't hear any of that stuff. So if bezels help protect it from a drop, great. If it helps us get a better inner camera that we can actually use, great. Because that's the to me that's the best part of a folding device. It's not having a bigger screen. It's being able to fold it and set it down on a table. It's being able to have it like this. That's my favorite thing. My favorite thing. Flip and fold. Both of them were great, and that's my favorite thing. That's 90% of how I use this is being able to, so I don't have to just hold it. My hands get tired. I can put it down and I can like scroll and use it or watch a video or type something out. I know, yeah, everybody's like, "Oh, that front screen, I got to do this." That's because that's what you're used to doing. You're used to holding a phone like this. But when you have a folding factor phone that you could set down and use it, and you can do this to text, it's way better. I text to talk, so I don't have that issue. But scrolling, it's a lot easier to have it on the table and just scroll than it is to hold it and scroll. I think it saves our hands. So we're about 26 minutes out. If you guys want to take a break, go get some popcorn. I'm going to tweet this and tell people we are live. We're 26 minutes away. I got in it a little too early. I meant to get in 30 minutes early, and I accidentally got in an hour early by accident. And they're not giving us anything, just a screensaver that's ticking like a clock. No music, no nothing. They could give us something more than that. I guess I'm at the right place too, hopefully. So let's see here. Let's catch up on some stuff. If you guys don't mind, share this out. I'm really, really trying to get to 500 subs, and I think I'm close. Let's see here. People always wait to these kind of events to like blow your phone up. But yeah, bezels are not a thing. They're not. Too many people made too big of a deal out of that. So I didn't get it. But I mean, most phones have bezels. Yeah, yeah. Like this my iPhone has thin bezels. It's not a problem. It's millimeters. It's not inches, not half inches. It's millimeters. Literally, it's nothing. So all these people talking about it's unacceptable in 2023 is like, no, everything has bezels. Yeah, everything's got bezels. Everything has a bezel. Yeah, on the front, this front display of my Fold, that has bezels. No one freaked out about that. And that's the screen that everyone wants wider and wants more screen. I don't know. I have this theory, and if you follow me on Twitter, you've seen me talk about it. That some of these folks, some people out there, they just try to stir up trouble for brands, especially like an underdog like Pixel, who really, really, really have very good products and have advanced their products so much in the last 3 years that they need a lot of credit. They really do. I mean, they really, really do. They need a lot of credit. Um, they came out with a very good product that had some glitches, granted. But after a while, they worked it out. It was all software stuff. They fixed it. I bought one, 6 Pro, 6 and 6 Pro were great devices. About 6 months after they came out. And I know that's a lot of people say that's unacceptable, but it was basically almost a brand new product for them. They didn't carry anything over from the old Pixel. You got a brand new chip that had never been out in the wild. Not really, not massively used. You had a brand new design, unlike anything anybody was doing. And that phone ended up being a great phone. It aged well. And a lot of people go, well, it's only 2 years old. Of course it aged well. No, no, no. No, no, no. There are plenty of devices that come out and within 3 or 4 months, they have not aged well. No one's buying them. They're breaking. They're overheating. They're not working. And these are flagship phones that come out now. So don't tell me that's not enough time to say that something's aged well. In tech, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you've got a 2-year-old laptop, it's out of date. That's why carriers do 3-year phone deals, because it's time to get a new one. But that phone did okay, it did well. The design was different, but that 7 came out, and it was just like, whoa, bro, like pump the brakes, Google. What are you doing? You've made this very nice, elegant device, or elegant looking device, that felt good in the hand, that looked really nice, that was pretty, that was just perfect. Everything worked, none of the glitches before, just the overall better phone, overall better device, better looking, the whole 9 yards, right? To do that in a year, they deserved a lot of credit. But what did they get? People saying, oh, well, I've got this issue and I've got that issue and I've got this problem and I've got that problem. And some of that preceded the phone's launch. And now we see it again with the Fold. I literally like, my point was proven when a certain editor and YouTuber and person of interest, an influencer, wrote that they had multiple people tell them, who've had the Pixel Fold in their hand, that the device did not open flat, that it opened at an angle, and the people that had it said they felt like if they opened it all the way, it would break. I knew that was complete BS. And a lot of people say, well, maybe it's just, maybe they're using like a beta product, or maybe it's not a final design. I was like, no, dude, if they've got this product in hand, it's because Google sent it to them. They have an embargo until it releases, and they've got it in their hand. Otherwise, they don't have it. So either they're lying to you, because they want to look cool, or they're not telling the truth because there's no way that Google's going to send you a phone that does this, that folds. Nobody's going to do this. It's going to open up. It's just common sense. It's just silliness. But you got people that post stuff like that. One, don't post that. If you're an influencer and you're influencing 17,000 or 17 million people or whatever it is that you normally have as an audience, be happy that we have some freaking competition and that we have some new tech that you always say we never have any new tech. Say, so don't kill it before it comes out. And I'm not saying that their opinion kills it, but I'm saying it definitely influences most common people, especially when they're attached to a publication that people look to be the experts on this stuff. So the last thing they need is this expert telling the normal public who aren't tech people, hey, this device sucks before it even comes out. They won't give it a second chance. They will be the people that I talk to that when I have it, they say, I heard that phone doesn't open up all the way. Where'd you hear that? I saw it on the internet. I saw this, that, and they talk about it. And I'm like, no, it opens up all the way. Oh, I don't know if I want a phone that's got problems. That's the way people are. So one, it's your duty and your responsibility not to falsely report rumors as a journalist. As a tech enthusiast, it's also our responsibility not to grossly overstate or cause a panic when there's not one. Like, chill out, dude. These same people are the ones that act like bezels are the end of the world and freak out over them and cause this huge uproar about nothing. Everything has bezels. They're not as big as these people made them out like they were the head and the forehead of an iPhone 6. They're not that big. They're not that big of a deal. But they bring all this negativity because, one, it gets them attention. And that's what they want, is the attention. We know it. So that drives up their views, and that drives up their ratings, and that drives up and it's just like, you can be honest and you can not report that stuff and report other stuff that you're looking forward to, the good things, the things that you like, you're happy for competition, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, without all this BS that we've come accustomed to. Like, I don't support that. I don't support that. I don't support that. Like, I want good reporting and I want these companies to succeed, but not on the heels of I'm going to dog a device out before it comes just so I can get some attention and then go, oh man, I love this phone now that I got it. The blah, blah, blah. It's the greatest phone ever. And then 6 months down the road go, well, nobody's talking about that device anymore. Let's talk about it. Mine's broke. It sucks. Blah, blah, blah. It's this endless cycle of just junk. I don't support that. I don't support that. So that's what we don't need. We need more people like excited this is coming. We need more people looking forward to it. Yes, it's got last year's chip. Am I a little disappointed about that? Sure. But I'm optimistic that they've used that to make their software experience better and it feel just as fast as if it had a faster chip in it. As long as it performs fast for me, that's all I care about. I'm not going to go around wishing it had a Tensor G2 or G3 in it if it's got a G2 that works faster than my S23 Ultra. Like, if I can do the same thing on both phones and one phone feels smoother and better and faster, I'm going to go with the one that feels smoother and better and faster versus the one that might have the chip that on paper is supposed to be faster. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's like, that's my argument for everything. I tell people all the time, everyone says, well, why would you buy that tablet when we've got iPads out here that are way, way better performers? I'm like, because they don't perform better. iPad OS is garbage. It just is. It's not refined, not like iOS is. It's not as refined. It's just not. Then you put in hardware from Mac OS that run Mac OS products and run those great. You put it into an iPad, and then the iPad is trash. Great screen, great chipset, plenty of RAM, plenty of power, plenty of all these things. It's just not that good. It's vanilla. It's mediocre. Sure, preference, but I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need a tablet for content creation that has for content to take in content that has an M1 chip in it. If I've got an M1 chip, give me computing power. Don't water it down with your OS. One reason why I like this tablet coming out from Google is because it is what it is. They're not trying to make it a laptop replacement. They're not. They're not trying to say you could probably get by with this instead of a laptop. They're not trying to say that at all. It's a completely different form factor. It is a tablet, and I like their take on it. I like them saying it integrates with your home well. I like that. I want that. That's something I don't have, and something I can't go buy, and something I want. I want that. Right now, my S8 Plus, I have it set up like a laptop. It's got a keyboard with a trackpad and a full folio case and the whole 9 yards, and I use it like a laptop. It's in DeX mode, and I use it like a laptop. The things that I use a laptop for, which is not video creation, but I do like video creation on that. It's not for heavy graphic use, light graphic use. It's not for heavy, uh, multitasking, blah 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 blah. It's not. I don't dump all my pictures on there and edit 300,000 pictures a year on it. Nothing like. It's for light stuff. It's for quick stuff. It's for easy stuff. It's for on the go. I'm not doing any of that on that screen. I'm doing that here. But it has replaced my computer, my laptop. I don't have a laptop right now. I don't want one. I don't need one. It's replaced it. I had a MacBook Air, and it was an M1 MacBook Air, and it replaced it. Just because touchscreen, just because S Pen support. But DeX mode and all that kind of stuff is geared more towards that. It's geared to feel more like it's geared towards more like a computer. It's an in between. It's not a complete replacement, in between. But it's yeah. So that's what I use it for. But Google's not doing that with their tablet. They're not doing that with their tablet. Their tablet is more for media consumption, but the integration into the home is something completely new. I want that. I want the new. Hey, I'm late. What's the topic? We're counting down. We're almost 10 minutes away. I got on earlier than I thought. I'm just talking about the stuff, what I think about it, what's coming out. Going to drink water because I'm not hydrated at all. But yeah, that's why the tablet's at the top of my list, because to me it's the most new thing that we have coming out today, that we think is coming out. I also have a sneaky suspicion that they're going to introduce the tablet. Let's hope they don't pull a One Plus here. I just thought about that. Let's really, 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 let's really, really, really hope. I really hope that they do not pull a One Plus here and say, "Hey, here's our tablet. We're taking pre-orders for $100, but we're not going to tell you the price." Don't do that. Hopefully they learn. But I also hope that they don't say it's not coming out until the fall. I want it to come out next month. I want it in June. Hopefully they will. Hopefully it will. I haven't seen a rumor for release date on it. I've seen it on everything else. I've heard that the Fold is going to be out in June, or you'll be able to get it in June. You can pre-order it today, and then the 7A I think is coming out, right? Like you can pre-order it and it's ready to go. You'll get it next week or something. So yeah, let's hope so. So, but yeah, the tablet to me is the newest thing. It's the newest thing that they've got that's coming out, and I want that. No one else is doing that. Everyone else has a tablet that's either like trying to replace a laptop or trying to look like a laptop, or it's a tablet. You can write on it. This, that, and the other. It's an on-the-go device. This is not on-the-go device. It's like the on-the-go part of it is second, which I'm like, I like that. I like that on the go is second. It's different. I just see, for me, I see a big use case scenario for it. Like I said, having it on my desk, being able to pick it up, take it to another room, put it on another dock, that sort of thing. And then if I need to take it on the go, I can, um, and use it more like a tablet. Um, Interesting thing is going to be whether or not they have any kind of pen support or pencil or anything like that. Whether that's going to come later, maybe. But it'd be really cool if they do introduce something like that or allude to it, like they're good at. And then, is it going to work with the fold? What do you guys think? Would it help you, or would it influence you more to try or buy the fold or the tablet if they had pen or pencil support of any kind? Specifically Google Pencil, like exclusive Google Pencil stuff, not just like Bluetooth stylus, not just like Bluetooth pencil stuff. I don't think it really influences me. Um, I like S Pen. I like having an S Pen. I did not like having Apple Pencil. Did not like Apple Pencil at all. So I was really disappointed in Apple Pencil. But I do like S Pen. I use my S Pen a lot, and I lost the S Pen for this. So they've got to figure out a better way to do that, or just get rid of it. Either give it to us or don't. If you got to raise the price, $2,200 with an S Pen inside the thing, or $1,700 without it. I want it in it. I'd pay it. Samsung, if you're listening, someone share this to Samsung. Tell them, hey, no, I'm just kidding. I since we're talking about cost and Google, and I think more people should buy and support Google because they're the only company that's putting out flagship phones for what I think they actually cost. While I love the Ultra, I love this phone so far. Phone of the year. Great phone, great device. Everything works flawlessly, if not better than expected. Um, just hands down, they killed it. They took a good phone from last year and made a great phone. They haven't had a great phone in a long time, in my opinion. Um, they've had good phones, haven't had great phones. But even still, the cost of the phone is not justifiable. It really isn't. It's too expensive. Um, I'll give you an example. We're getting less and less in a box. We're growing less and less from one phone to the next. We're not getting more for our money. Should be getting cheaper. Parts are not vastly changing, especially like an iPhone is a perfect example. That phone should be cheap now. And I get it. Apple's trying to make all their money. It's all about money. You got to stay ahead. Blah blah blah. It's part of business, but whatever. But my thing is this: is like this phone has not changed since the 12 or the 11. It's been this shape. The camera's bumped. The camera's got a little bigger. That's it. You don't know what phone this is. I have a skin on here. You have no idea what generation iPhone this is just looking at it, unless you heard me say it. That, my friends, should make that phone cheaper to buy. You're getting less in the box. You're getting cheaper stuff in the box. I have to go buy a new cable for my Watch 5 Pro, my Samsung Watch 5 Pro. I have to go buy a new cable, a cable that I never unplug or move, a cable that is plugged in. I come in every night, I put the end of it on the phone, and that's it. I have to go buy a new cable because the end of it is starting to show wire where the USB plugs in to the brick. And they're all like that. All those cables are cheap and flimsy and just junk. Like, I wish they would get rid of the cable because it's so cheap and crap. It's just, I don't even want it. Let me go buy a nice cable. Screw it. But phones should be getting cheaper. And I think what Google's doing, I think it's commendable. So I am not Team Pixel, but and I'm not saying that Google's the greatest company in the world. They do a lot of stuff that I like, a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense, and a lot of stuff that I'm like, that sucks. But it's why I'm here. It's why I like this stuff. It's why I try to support them, and I don't talk down about them. But Pixel 7a, $499, basically Pixel 7, but maybe plastic. I'm gonna skin it, put a case on it. I don't care. Don't care. If I can get a flagship phone, if they came out and said this year the Pixel 8 Pro is $799 with all the goodies and everything in it, new tensor chip, the whole 9 yards. They give you everything. Their incremental upgrade spec bump for $799 instead of $999. They save $200 because it's plastic. I'm game. I don't care if they can make the back frosted and make it feel like glass. I don't care if it's glass. I really don't, guys. I really don't, because I'm going to skin it, put a case on it, and most people are too. And even if I didn't, if it still feels like glass, I don't care if it's glass or not. I certainly don't care. The only phone that feels like it is solid and premium is the iPhone. Kitty. I do like the stainless steel around it, around the edges, but I think it's got the best feeling back. But you can see I still put a skin on it. It is what it is. How do you feel about stock Android on Pixel phones? It is a better software experience. The hype is real. I think about it all the time. Like, I look back at pictures and think about when I had a Pixel, and I did really enjoy that experience. The animations, et cetera, et cetera. I do feel like that my Samsungs are faster, and for the most part, I like that. But there are times where it's just like stuff's moving, and I'm just like, that's like, it opens fast, but it's just like, some animation would be nice. But I definitely prefer the. We got 50 seconds. We're about to start. I definitely prefer Google's software experience over Samsung's. I haven't ever used like a OnePlus or anything, so I have never used any of those. I've never used any of those operating systems and their versions of Android. So that's the only two I've got to compare. But I do prefer Pixels. Just this is tiny things. It's tiny things. 17 seconds. We're about to get started. I got Twitter pulled up here, so I'm going to just be checking out what everybody's doing. Just commenting. Here we go. 0 and nothing. That was anticlimactic. I guess they're late. Am I doing something wrong here? Am I missing something? Kitty's out. Time to eat. Refresh your browser, okay? The number of requests sent exceeds the quota limit? What? Did Google just crash? Hold on. Did they just crash? Okay, here you go. There we go. We're starting. Yeah, I see it now. It freaked out for a minute. It's kind of funny, but kind of good. Maybe there's a lot of people on. Yeah, so they're following suit with what everyone else is doing. Really nice display up here with a video that's really pretty and beautiful and cinematic, talking about how safe Google is and how safe AI is, and they're being responsible. And here we go. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I think they're going to give us some cool software stuff for sure. I love the stage. For those of you not watching, Sundar just came out on stage and he's kind of talking about AI. So they're just talking about the progression of AI with Gmail. Help me write. It's pretty cool. Oh wow. So it wrote out this big long email, so you can change it. Like you can hit refine and do an elaborate email, which is pretty cool. Smart compose and then help me write. That's pretty neat. Hmm. They got you already. Cycling, gotta have it. Yeah, I need that. I need that, Google. So that's something I asked for a while back when they were talking about some of this. Was like I was hoping they would bring that to biking because as a biker, you exactly what they're talking about. It's like you want to pick a certain path. You don't want to just ride the sidewalk, or you don't want to just bike on the road. It's, that's really great. It's really really great. Major cities to get it first, but still, it's awesome. It's great. It's fantastic. I use Google everything. I use all Google apps. Selfie time. Sorry, got to tweet it. Wow. So basically, fake pictures. Thanks, Google. That's what we need. More fake pictures. More people's fake faces, and I'm gonna fake myself at Google I/O in person. Nice. So this is all stuff that you'll get updates for if you already have these Google apps, which is great. No, no, no. Any Android phone can have well, not just phones, but tablets and anything that runs Android can have all these apps and utilize them. Anything that has, well, not just Android, you can have Google apps on iOS. Nobody cheered. They're like, what? They're talking about Palm, and now they're Palm 2. What? So anybody that's not watching this, they're talking about Palm, which is kind of the learning of the AI, and they've got four different levels. Um, and they're talking about the mobile one now, which is Gecko. It's basically a developer helper, works for code, bugs, etc. So it's supposed to be like this way to streamline uh, AI learning for developing and code and bugs and system analysis and things like that. So they've got multiple levels for multiple different things, and they're talking about Palm 2, which has right now they're talking about Gecko, which is the light version for mobile. This works for security as well. So they're going to talk about Palm 2 now in preview, which I'm sure is like a beta testing type thing. They've reeled us in to talk about all of their AI stuff before they introduce the hardware. Good for them. So is Gemini going to replace Palm 2? Hmm. I guess they're I guess they're just I guess maybe Gemini's like multiple platforms across the board for uh yeah, metadata and UI learning, but it takes it per thing. So yeah, like instead of just focusing on code and the all of Android, it would focus on like specific things that you're doing and that sort of thing. Just multiple learning on multiple platforms that specifically pinpoints multiple things and different stuff that you do. Uh, recognizing what's in a picture, recognizing light, recognizing HDR, or you know how you talk, how you text, how you move around on your phone, on your device, on the tech that you use. So it's pinpointing specific things instead of as a whole. Pretty cool. Now they're talking about Bard. We already know about that. So now we're talking about Bard. So so Bard, if you don't know what Bard is, that's what they're talking about right now. And they're talking about how it's mathematical skills and creation skills for things like code and things like that could work as like a collaborator. So you can ask it questions like, how do I do this? Or how do I change this? And then how you can now interact with it. And it's on Palm 2 and it's using Palm 2 learning to interact with this. So it's like a personal assistant on steroids, basically. They gave Barb dark theme. Everybody cheered. It's funny. Follows your OS settings. So Bard doesn't do just code and stuff like that. They can do emails and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I know a lot of people that now use AI to create their scripts, to create emails, to write books. I mean, they're doing everything with it. So it's pretty cool. Personally, it's not quite there, but it's getting there. This is good. They're they're moving it forward. Secure private way. Yes. Well, it's kind of like uh, it's kind of like a it's kind of like a mix between like a personal assistant, like a digital personal assistant, like Siri or Google or you know the A word. I can't say that because I have those everywhere, but Amazon's assistant. But it's like a works like a butler, so you can be like, "Hey Barb, can you write me an email telling my mom that I'm not coming home for Christmas?" And it'll write it out and it'll give you suggestions and this, that, and the other. But you can also tell it like they're talking about, what does a picture of two dogs look like, or what does this, or it just, yeah. So you can just interact with it. See, so yeah, basically it does. If you can't think for yourself, it'll think for you. See, Barb just kind of picked all those things out of what she said and then recreates it. Hmm. So you basically can, instead of like saying like, "Hey Siri," and she popping up, and you can have this continuous conversation with her to continuously go into, or him, whoever, Barb. You can continuously go into the conversation deeper and deeper and deeper versus like having to start over each time. So it's just an end. It's basically just a, like I said, it's a AI assistant on steroids. Um, but they're basically showing how they have integrated it now into other Google apps like Maps and Gmail and Sheets and Docs and all that kind of stuff. And you can just tell Barb to do it, sets it all up. So you don't have to build the spreadsheet. Barb builds a spreadsheet. You don't have to you don't have to create the email. Barb creates the email. It does all that kind of stuff. No Amazon. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Wow. So we've seen this before. They're talking about AI generated photos. We've seen this before, but now Bard has the ability that you can say, "Hey Bard, create an image that is me jumping out of a birthday cake on the 4th of July," and it'll give you options of what that would look like. And you can do that with Adobe Firefly. So now it's completely open to the public. More languages, 180 countries. They're on track to do 40 languages soon, whenever soon is. All right, so now we're going to get into um, how their AI is working around the globe, multiple languages, different countries, etc. No, no, no. They just announced it's out of that stage. It's open to the world now. You can get it. You can get Barb. Wow. So now they're talking about the full integration on the Google Suite of how Bard works with that. So they just showed in Docs how it works, and they created a job description basically. Now they're showing how it works in Sheets. So now they're showing how it works with slideshow and how it has image generation with just a prompt. If you just do like a simple prompt, the one they're using is that their mom loves a pizza, and you hit create, and it should give you some pizza. They're just showing how you can go from, you can really dial in how you create with Bard, from real photos to fake photos, and it's really good. So all of the workspace gets it, and so that's coming to workspace later. You should be able to try it now. Several people have been using it. Uh, let's see. Yeah, yeah. If you want to try it, just type in Google search Barb AI, and there's a way for you to. They'll probably want you to register with them, and then you can just start using it. They've really spent a lot of time on this, obviously, because they're really pushing hard to introduce this. And I guess it's because they for me, I've seen a lot of people using it and talked a lot about it because it's been going on for a while. So this is not super new to me, but I'm assuming because they're going kind of public with this and they're going to push it out for multiple people to see and a lot of people to really experience. They want you to really have a good understanding of what it is. So if you're watching this and you're wondering why are they spending what an hour just talking about this, is because this is a big step in what they're in everything that they're doing. Uh, and just Google trying to be the forerunner at the front of AI, because you've got a lot of competition in that space, whether you know it or not, with companies like Facebook pushing into the metaverse and pushing into um, VR and that kind of world. And we know that Apple's probably going to also push into VR. Other companies are going to start getting into this space. So Google's trying to be competitive and pushing a lot of this stuff out first, and making sure that more and more people really get on board with AI, particularly with their AI. And they're basically trying to show, hey, we're doing this, it's working. You can use it anywhere and everywhere, and we are better than everybody else because we've been doing this for a while and it works. Hopefully, hopefully it works. Basically, Google's making it so we don't have to have school anymore. We can just cancel class. No more schools. No more teachers. We just tell AI what to do. We don't have to. We don't have to learn anything. Oh, now Google has a labs. Where have we heard that for? From Samsung. They have labs. That's hilarious. Google's basically they're setting the bar right now. They're showing everyone everything they can do, what all they have, and they're saying, catch up, get started, get to work. What can you do? And then, typical Google form, they'll probably give away this stuff to other platforms like Magic Eraser and all this other stuff that they've done. They're going to give it over because they want to be this software company that is dominant and they want everyone using their stuff, right? So that's, again, they're talking about search. They want you to use Google search. They want you to use Chrome. They don't want you to use Safari or Yahoo or any of that. They're trying to be the dominant force in that space of AI and software and online generated everything. So this is good that they're not just focusing on, hey, we've got new hardware coming out, here's what it is, and this is this. We've got all this other stuff that we've been working on too. Also, I've taken um I've taken a lot of surveys on this kind of stuff. I don't know if any of you guys have either, but for probably a year now, as I interact, I do Google surveys. They'll pay you to do that. You can sign up and they'll get paid for it. Um, but they ask me about certain searches that I have or have had, and which ones I liked better. They'll give me examples and let me choose. So they have been working on this for at least a year because I've been helping out with some of the development on this through the Google Surveys app. You can do that and get paid for it. No more studying is correct. You just ask AI, "Hey, what is this? What is this?" Until until everything's gone and the world blacks out, and then we're all screwed. Yeah, this is the stuff that I've seen, and they've been sending me surveys on. I've seen all this stuff already, so it's pretty exciting. It's neat that they listen. I can appreciate a company that takes the time to listen to people, listen to normal people like me. Like I'm not anybody really. I'm not, I don't have 5 million followers, and I'm not some big huge influencer or whatever, obviously. And the fact that I can be asked for this stuff, and I'm sure multiple millions of people are also asked these questions too. But just the fact to be that anyone can be a part of this, just the common person can be a part of this, and they listen to it and implement it is really, really neat. And I can really appreciate that they actually used it. Okay, this is different. Conversational mode in search. Wow. Wow. So it takes the search that you've already got, and it starts integrating in a conversational mode. So it's like they're showing bikes that are good for 5 mile commute with hills. And then say you can put in the you can put in the little commute in the little inside of that you can say in red, and then it adds it to that. So instead of you having to like start search over and put commuter bike 5 miles in with hills in red, you just put in red and it pops it in there. So you can do a voice too. So you can ask Google certain things. Gives you the key things. Sh The example she used was like, "Why do whales sing?" And so she is just going through the whole thing. So the conversation mode is probably the neatest thing that they are going to add to uh, Google search. So it's basically like interactive AI implemented into the search engine for Google. It's pretty awesome. So and it's stacking them. So it's like each time she has the conversations with the AI, it stacks it. So it's like the original search is up top, then the next one, then the next one, and then you can just scroll back up to the other one, and then it gives you all these web pages that you can scroll from the side through, and all the it's pretty neat, pretty neat, and it's smooth. It was smooth, not super fast, but smooth. Yeah, the search labs is what I'm in. Pretty cool. They hadn't called it labs. So far, I think it's really good that they have really pushed hard in it. I mean, we're what two an hour and 20 minutes of nothing but AI and new features, and it's nothing to do with the hardware that's coming out. Everyone's here for the hardware, but the great thing is like this is across the board for every device that has anything Google on it, Google Search, Google Workspace, all the Google Suite, the whole nine yards. So it's really neat, and it's encouraging that they're putting this out ahead of what some of the other companies are doing, as well as what other companies have put out, because no one's pushed in like this like Google has. So kind of neat. Also, kind of makes me wonder what we're going to see this summer and in the fall for other companies like Apple, Samsung, etc. So how are they going to utilize these things? How are they going to enhance them? How are they going to come out and create their own stuff? It's really neat to see where the space is going now. We've AI hasn't been a huge thing. It's just kind of been kind of like a niche, like on the verge thing. And it feels like Google saying, all right, AI is here. It's a real thing. Let's go. Let's get it out there. Let's interact with it. Let's use it. Let's put it into our all of everything. They've put it in everything. Every app they have, search engine, all the stuff that they're known for. Here it is. And then now we're facing to get hardware that hopefully it's in that as well. So let's let's it's good. I think it's going to be good for Wear OS, which they haven't even talked about it being part of yet, but hopefully that's really going to work really well with that. Um, we know it's going to be working with all of their other hardware because it's all Google based, but just the enhanced features that it's going to give you to be able to utilize so much stuff. Like They hadn't talked about being in Google Messages, but what if you had AI generate your text messages? What if you had a personal assistant on your watch that helps encourage you to run, walk, be part of your dietary program, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of stuff here that you kind of see the future coming about. So it's really exciting. That one random scream, woo, and no one else claps. All right, so now AI with cloud is where we're heading now. Yeah. So now they're passing it along to you, and this is how you can do it with cloud. You've learned how to do it with everything else. Now cloud. So now they're talking about how companies have used this to build their own apps. Wendy's, Canva, companies like that are using this to build their app. And that's they're using generative AI, generating AI to build these apps. More than likely, what this is going to end up doing is these companies are going to be able to let the AI interact on the app with them as well as with other platforms like social media. So taking taking out the person, good and bad, I guess. But you think about, you're always looking for better customer service when you have an AI that never sleeps, that can answer your questions, that can help you, or that gets to a point, goes, hey, you really need to talk to somebody, and contacts that person instead of you having to rely on them to just whatever. How to order food, how to create on graphics on Canva, how, all these things that as this develops becomes a way that you interact in life with what you do. So now they're talking about character AI, which is basically a personalized AI person or AI thing. Character. CRM assistants, customer relations management. A lot of the automotive industry uses that. So text inputs with a thing called Imagine, which is for pictures, Cody, which is for coding. So this is all stuff that AI can create on its own. And Chirp, which is their speech model. Speech to text, which we have, but 300 languages. So the AI can do it. You can say, AI, tell this person what I want to say. And it can tell it to you in Portuguese. So these are not features that are out, but they're in preview. So you can take a look at them and see what you think. But they're not fully functioning. So they're kind of like a beta. So this is like we just talked about, do it UI for workspace. Now it's for cloud as well. So no matter where you are, the the AI works with the cloud, with whoever you're doing through chat. So if I'm in America and someone's across the pond, they're across the ocean in Europe, we can talk back and forth, and I can tell them what I need to say, and from code reviews and so everything else we've talked about. But it can pass it on to that person as, hey, this is what Roddy's working on, this is a suggestion he had, this is how I would do it, and send it to them. And you're just talking about how this helps your performance and helps your overall ability to generate um, what your workload that you're doing, and you can do it through the cloud, so you don't have to do it like in real time. You can do it. I can do my stuff now. And the AI can. You can ask AI, "What did Roddy come up with?" And they say, "Oh, this is what he came up with," and it shows you how it works and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty neat. Mr. Mobile said, eventually, I mean, always helpful to remember that IO is first and foremost a developer event. Got to eat our AI coding search vegetables before we get to the hardware. This is true. I'd say we're halfway through, so they're going to spend half of the presentation off of this, and then they're going to come back. All right. I have to see this. I have no idea what this is, so I'm quiet. If you're wondering, you're like, why aren't you talking? Well, I'm watching Google I/O, and I have no idea what they're doing. Wow. Are you watching this? Wow. Wow. So it's pretty neat. My kitty, he's not liking me being in here so long and not giving him attention. This is going to be their we're responsible speech. It's incredible. Wow. That is impressive. Google flexing on them. So this is Google saying, "Hey, we're in the medical industry. We're helping the world. We are not just a software company, not just a hardware company. We are part of life now. We are helping save lives." They're moving beyond tech. Hmm. Hmm. In the coming months. So We created the software that makes fake photos, and then we're creating the software that tells you if it's real or fake. Hmm. I don't know, Google. Don't know if I can trust that. But I don't know. What do y'all think? Y'all think that that's trust? Can we trust Google to make fake photos and tell us which photos are fake, or make fake AI generated documents and tell us which ones are real and fake? Sounds sketchy. I like it. I don't have to learn to speak a foreign language now. I just let AI match my lips up. Great. Hopefully, this goes over to like Google Lens and into phone cameras and helps give us better pictures and video. Too much to ask? Maybe so. Maybe not. Who knows? This is the point where some of you are watching. And I say, don't forget about T&T on Sunday nights. Check out me, other guys like Delvon Digital, King Sober, Darren from One Cut Reviews, Tuna Tech. If you, we're just a bunch of creators that get on Sunday nights, and we'll be talking about this. We'll be very, very critical of this and all that's coming out. Lots to talk about, but it's sure to be all Google stuff because that's what's going on this week. So if you haven't, go check out T&T Podcast. You can find it on any of the podcast platforms as well as right here on YouTube. Just type in T&T Podcast and it'll pop up. I feel like if they don't hurry up with this, like if they don't move it along, we're going to have a riot. People are going to rush the stage. Where's the fold? They're going to freak out. No, maybe not. It is nice that they're not just using AI for creation, but they're also using it for um, hopefully some good things, which helps some of the toxicity that's on the internet, some of the deep fake stuff, some of the false information that's being sent out, reporting, and maybe platforms like Twitter, which really needs a lot of this integration there to help get away from this, but social media in general, because right now a lot of social media bots are really, really bad at recognizing threats. And as somebody whose account's been locked because I shared something to multiple groups one time, while it was relative for all the groups that I shared it in, they cited it as being spam and they locked me out of my account. And so hopefully Google's going to make it so that we don't run into those issues. They can recognize, hey, this is a real person. They're sharing. They're not sharing at an unreasonable rate, and they can dictate like I'm a real person hitting the button versus a robot that sends it out. So hopefully this stuff, even though it is kind of boring, it is good, and other companies will other companies will adopt this, and it'll be a good thing. I think this is all good. I think it's stuff we need to hear. Yes, we're kind of suffering through it because we really just want to see the hardware, but it's still good to hear it. The only reason was joking about the riot if they didn't hurry up was because if you're not on Twitter, it is a riot right now. Everyone's ready for the phones and the tablet. So, hey, I'm going to take a break and run to the restroom real quick, and I'll be right back. Hey, spam messages and calls. That's a good thing for us to hear, right? So here we go. Foldables, tablets. Here we go. Are you excited? I'm excited. Let's go. We should all be excited. Yeah, yeah. Clap for that. Thank you. Ah, yes. But they're not safe, right? Are we excited about WhatsApp? They're not really safe. Why not Facebook Messenger? Why not Telegram? Ah. They need to fix nearby share because it's not that great. And Cast is not that great either. All that needs work. All that needs work. Fast pair, Cast, nearby share, all that needs to be better. That looks like something that Apple has. These companies are great. They really are. Oh no, that's cool. That's kind of cool. That's neat. Wow. That's big. Nice. He did say Android is about connecting people. Oh man. Oh man. Oh, shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Wow! Wow! I can't believe they just said every. So they're basically telling Apple to adopt RCS. That's great. That's great. Bro, I can't believe they fired shots like that. That's insane. Wow. Well, I can't believe they basically just told Apple they should adopt RCS so that we can all share pictures and videos and quit having their own inclusive text messaging platform that you have to have an iPhone to send and you can't send videos or text across the board. Wow. They actually said that from stage live, looked at the camera and said it like we hope everyone will adopt RCS this year. Wow. So now they're showing off lock screen stuff. Late to the party, but we're getting it. Hey, we take it. Wallpaper picker. This is pretty good. So AI generated lock screen. This is great. This is great. I mean, totally useless. Like all this other great stuff they talked about saving lives and this and that. But hey, you can customize your lock screen or your wallpaper on your lock screen with AI generated picker stuff. Yeah, just put it on there. Boom, creating it. Wow. All this technology and lock screens. So they have cinematic wallpaper. Of course, it's not a new thing, but they're just saying, "Hey, we have it now." Oh, it's really good though. Oh, it's really good though. Like it's way better than anybody else. Yes, yeah. Yes, good. Good stuff. Still just more wallpaper stuff, but they're just showing the multiple different ways to do it. But so basically, everybody else is kind of giving you like one way, another way. They're giving you three different ways to create multiple wallpapers, backgrounds, etc., etc. Using AI, using their AI technology, which is makes it a lot better than some of the others that are doing it. Pixel family of device. So here we go. We're going to get 7A right now. So very exciting. Let's talk 7A. Let's tweet that out. So finally, we're getting there. So they're going to talk about AI experiences. Hopefully, bring the phone out. We're just talking about they're talking about all the features of Google, like call waiting, speech to text, etc., and then Pixel Safe. Sure. And they're talking about this all powered by G2, Tensor G2. And now the camera. The best camera. It is. Real tone, guided frame. Same stuff. The only phone engineered by Google. Tensor Android AI. The only phone that does that, apparently. Because Tensor is the only thing they have. Well, we hope. Well, that's kind of nice that they're giving you that to Pixel phone this year. We don't have to wait till next year. AI wallpapers, great, cool, okay. Search workspace, Bard, all that stuff's coming. We know because it's all integrated into one thing. It's like duh. It's like That's cool that you can do it on your phone, but we know you can do it on your phone because you just showed us it's integrated into everything. Oh, here we go. We don't. Those people talk bad about you as well. Ah. Whoa! Fastest growing OEM in our markets. Our markets. Whatever that means. This is crazy. Here we go. Pixel 7a. Yay! Bigger camera sensor. Here we go. It's kind of like, hey, here's 7A, new color, bigger camera sensor. Bye. The home. What I said. What I said. Specific video calling. See, that's what I said. I want a tablet that can do that. I want a home pod that can do that. I want a home speaker that can do that. So far, everything that I wanted it to do, it can do. Hopefully. Just got to see what the price is. Don't be overpriced, Google. That's what I said. Tablet hardware with tablet apps. More helpful in the home. Charging speaker dock. Very good. New to the space. New to the space. No one else is doing that. Fingerprints, scanners, great. Very cool. Multiple user support. That's great. That's great. You could probably sign in with your own Google profile and everything, and it's all set up for you. That's awesome. Hmm. That's pretty neat to have the built-in kickstand on it. It's kind of nice. Works with the dock. You don't have to take it off. It's just there. That's it. You got to put the dock in there for free. Yes. No one cares. That was a terrible spot. No one cares. Who even is that? I don't even know who that is. Yay! Pixel Fold! We made it. What we all been waiting for, right? Tensor G2, Android, and AI. It's a big claim. Thinnest foldable on the market. Such a big claim. Best foldable camera system. That's huge claim. Best foldable camera system. They're kicking Samsung in the teeth. So I'm checking the Google store now. All right, let's see how it goes. Okay. Pretty neat. Wow. That's pretty awesome. So we can drop and drag and drop. Pixel to fold, looking good. Uh, but if I'm honest, I'm like not super impressed, not super excited yet. AI's there. That's cool. The crease is there too, though. It's still got a little bit of a crease. Tabletop mode's cool. All right, now we're talking cameras on the foldable, so let's see how that goes. Not very wide. I think the tablet's probably my favorite thing of the day. The best value. I think the fold is cool. Nothing blew me away. Price is really expensive for what we're getting. I think it's just in my opinion. Um, I like that it folds flat. I like that it's thin. It's compact. It's nice. But for $1,800, I gotta wait. I gotta wait for a deal. I gotta wait for a deal. It's basically Pixel 7 Pro in a small tablet form factor that folds, which is neat. But to me, there's nothing there that's wowing me. But if you're looking for a foldable with the best camera that's compact, which is some of the biggest complaints uh, of this guy. So you get a Pixel Watch. They didn't give you Pixel Buds with 7A like I thought they would. So I think that from today, kind of talking everything through, final thoughts, what I see, what we're getting. I felt like it was good. They leaned way in to show you all the AI and software and product information they're working for across the board, which is good that they're flexing their muscles a little bit. And I think that's good. I think it's good that that they're showing their dominance. They're stating that they're showing where they're strongest. They're showing where they're ahead in the industry. That's good for Google. They want the developers involved. They want that community. They want people to stay with them and not jump ship. They're probably trying to get some people. They're probably trying to get some people over that are maybe developers for Apple. That they're like, hey, come look at all this great AI that we're doing. Come work with us. Even though we know Apple's probably working on it too. They're really pushing hard for that. Um, Let me close this so I can hear. Ah, thanks, but no thanks. Okay. So for me, just the overall take of them doing that, kind of flexing their muscles a little bit, kind of pushing real hard into that space and showing, hey, this is the company that Google is built on. This is the rock that we're built on. This is the people that we are. This is who we are. This is how we have made our name. We didn't make our name off the back of off of hardware. We didn't make our name off of gimmicks. We didn't make our name off of niche tech. We are Google. We created search. We created Gmail. We created all these things, and now we're adding AI, and we're on the cutting edge forefront of that. You should come be a part of that. Be a developer. Be someone that's creating that. And then they introduce all the suites of things that they're not just working. It's not just tech stuff. It's in business. It's in industry. It's in healthcare. It's pushing the future of the world to a better place. It's helping productivity. It's helping the common everyday person all the way up to the CEO and the doctors and all of that. So they're trying to show that they can be anywhere and everywhere with what they're doing, but they're also the best at what they're doing. So it's really, really good to see them spend a lot of time on that and really show that. But it also is really neat to see that they're taking a leap and they're doing what looks like a really good job of stepping into the tablet space in a different way. They're not just another slab tablet. They're not just another, iPad. They're not just another Galaxy Tab. They're not just a something that's trying to be, in between a PC, a phone. Eh, They're not that. They're saying this is about the home. This is about being in the home. This is about this. This is about all these things that tablets are forgotten. Like they said, it's running out of battery. You got to plug it in. You can't move it. They are making sure that they are doing something different. They're fitting into a space that there's a void. You're buying things for the home. You're buying smart speakers. You're buying tablets, but you're not buying that combo. So they're bridging that gap instead of the other gap that I spoke of. Then you're talking about budget phones that they're putting their pro level phones in technology for that, minus one camera. So you've got the budget phone there. And then finally, we wrap up with their take on a foldable. Yeah, I think it looks good. I like it. I like the software experience. I kind of like how they're doing a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, I think the biggest thing is if you want a compact foldable with a better camera than a Z Fold 4. That's it. So without further ado, thanks everybody that stopped by. Thanks everybody that watched through this, that maybe zipped to the end. My take is I like the tablet. That's probably what I'm going to pick up first. And then maybe later on down the road, pick up a 7A. And then maybe towards the end of the year, pick up a foldable. So 3 hours, 40 minutes in. Thanks to everybody that came by and watched. Thanks everybody that came and hung out. Thank you guys so much for subscribing and supporting the channel. And now it's time to go watch a bunch of videos and move on with my day. Thanks again, guys. See ya. Have a good one. Laters.